Today I am prepping all at once 3 easy and delicious casseroles. These are all $1 million recipes, but they actually only cost me about 15 bucks each. And considering that each one is probably gonna serve anywhere from 6 to 8 people, what does that mean? We're talking about a little over 2 bucks per serving. I think that's pretty economical. Plus we're gonna get it done all at once so I can have 3 meals prepped and get busy doing other Christmas things because 'tis the season, right? Let's get something out of the way right off the bat. These are not diet casseroles. This is not light fare. This is once in a blue moon, knock your socks off, creamy comfort food meals. Okay, that's the season we're in, all right? There are carbs. There is gluten. There is lots and lots of dairy. I mean, like 3 different kinds of cheese. So if that is not your thing, if that is not a thing that you are looking for or into right now, just X out of this video. It's okay. I'll see you on the flip side of the holiday, okay? Actually, 5 different kinds of cheese because I forgot about the cottage cheese and the cream cheese, in addition to the 3 different kinds of shredded cheese. And yes, I did take the shortcut and buy shredded cheese, even though I'm a big fan of just buying the block cheese and shredding it yourself because it tastes better. I took the shortcut today. Yesterday, I placed a Walmart order for the ingredients I need to make these 3 casseroles all at once. I am popping it up on the screen here along with a list of the things that I purchased in case you want to recreate this little meal plan. I will also pop up on the screen here the different seasonings and spices and things I'm using to flavor the food so you can make sure you have everything on hand or pick up what you need just in case. And as I make each individual recipe, I'll put the ingredients up for that individual recipe just in case you see one of these that you want to make and you don't want to make all 3 at once so you know what goes into them. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to put together a printable for you specific to this meal plan. Sometimes I do that with my videos, have like a corresponding PDF that you can download with the ingredients and the recipes, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to get that ready for you by the time this needs to go up. But hopefully those screenshots with the list will help you. And actually, I think that's one of the ways that I excel when it comes to my videos. I'm not a gourmet cook. I don't think my recipes or my meal plans are anything extraordinary, but I do think one thing I am good at is figuring out how to make all of the pieces of the puzzle fit together, how to use ingredients across multiple recipes so that you can really be efficient with the things that you're purchasing and not have a lot of like random extra ingredients left out because you wanted to make one specific recipe. So that is the case with this video with 3 casseroles we're going to prepare at the same time. So hopefully those screenshots and lists are helpful to you. First up is a $1 million chicken casserole. You guys have probably tried this before. I actually have not. So let me show you how I'm making it. For this recipe, you will need 2 to 3 cups of cooked shredded chicken, half a cup each of sour cream and cottage cheese, 1 can of cream of chicken, plus about half a cup of milk, 2 cups of cheese. I think it just depends on your preference when it comes to the kind. I'm using this triple cheddar, finely shredded Vermont sharp and mild cheddar cheese blend. You're also gonna need 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers plus 4 tablespoons of butter melted. And to season this, we're gonna use 1 teaspoon each salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and then 2 teaspoons of Creole seasoning. I think Cajun seasoning would be fine too, or even just a little bit of paprika maybe. One of these recipes is going to be with beef, but the other 2 needed cooked shredded chicken. So last night I actually just popped my chicken into the slow cooker and I got it started right when I went to bed, and I just seasoned it with a little salt and pepper, and then this morning it was cooked and ready to shred up with my hand mixer. I cooked about 2 pounds or so of chicken breast, so it yielded for me around 5 cups or so of cooked chicken. Normally I would do the math and just weigh all of this out on my scale, use my scale and the tar function on the scale to weigh out the wet ingredients, but I'm taking the long way today, or maybe the short way, I don't know, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Half a cup of sour cream, half a cup of cottage cheese, my can of cream of chicken. Again, sometimes I would make this from scratch using milk and chicken broth and cornstarch, but today I'm going for easy. And I'm gonna go ahead and add about 1/3 to half a cup of milk. I'm just gonna use the can. I've filled it up about 1/3 of the way. I'm gonna pour that in there. My seasonings, and then this is an 8-ounce bag. It's equivalent to 2 cups. I'm gonna put about half of it, so 1 cup in the mixture right now. Stir, 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 stir it all around. I'm gonna grease my casserole dish. and then pour that mixture in. Now, if you wanted to stretch this even more, I'd probably add about a cup or two of cooked rice to it, because really there aren't any like carbohydrates in it to stretch it out yet. Set that aside while we make the topping. 4 tablespoons of butter melted, 1 sleeve, which should be about 30 Ritz crackers. I bought the off-brand. Take out a little frustration. Oops. Oh, come on. Open sesame. There we go. And stir those around. Okay, the rest of my cheese here over the top, and then my cracker mixture. I'm just gonna spread this out evenly over the top of the cheese and the chicken mixture. Now this is ready to pop into a 350-degree oven until it's bubbly and the topping is golden brown and it's ready to eat. If I'm baking it up right now when it's basically room temperature from having been prepared, it's probably only gonna take about 30-ish minutes. If I'm baking it from the refrigerator, which I will be doing later, it's probably gonna take an extra 10 to 15 minutes. We are actually gonna be eating this one tonight. So I'm just gonna pop some foil on it and put it in the fridge for a few hours, and then later this afternoon, I'll be able to just pull that out and put it into a 350-degree oven to heat it up, come up with some really easy veggie sides, probably just some steam in the bag veggies or a salad, and dinner will be ready, which is fantastic because I'm gonna have limited time this evening because we are heading out the door for a choir concert, a holiday choir concert. Since today's topic is preparation, doing a little work right now to prepare for something down the road, today's sponsor is perfect because it's Fabric by Gerber Life. I was chatting with some mom friends the other day about how it feels like yesterday was the first day of school, and here we are today in December, a week away from Christmas. And my husband and I were actually chatting this morning on our morning walk about what we have left to do to prepare for Christmas. So I rattled off this list of things, like a few presents that still need to be purchased, some items I need to pick up for a class party, a Christmas dinner that needs to be planned, etc. But honestly, one of the most important things we can provide for our kids, dare I say, even more important than Christmas presents, is a term life insurance policy for us, the parents, so that we can rest assured that no matter what happens to us, our kids' financial futures are secure. And I know it's hard to think about, especially if you're young and healthy, but that's actually the time to lock in low rates. Fabric is term life insurance you can get done all online, on your own time, from the comfort of your own home. You could be covered right from your own couch in under 10 minutes with no health exam required, which is good because it's busy being a parent all year long, not just at Christmas time. Plus, they have over 1,900 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. You can cancel at any time, and they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And Fabric offers other things besides insurance too, like free digital wills and investment accounts for your kids' futures that you can manage right from your own phone. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/cmindymom. That's meetfabric.com/cmindymom. meetfabric.com/cmindymom. And thank you again to Fabric for sponsoring today's video. The other 2 casseroles I'm gonna prep in disposable foil pans because I intend to take these somewhere this week. And first up is a chicken cordon bleu casserole. Let me show you the ingredients I'm using. I am using another 2 to 3 cups of cooked shredded chicken. And this is actually deli ham. It's a 1/4 pound of ham. I have them sliced in the deli, and I'm gonna slice it up into little strips. A pint, which is 2 cups of half and half. You could use milk instead. If you're using milk, I would suggest using whole milk, certainly no less than 2%. 1 stick of butter divided. I need 4 tablespoons and 4 tablespoons. I'm gonna use half a block, which is 4 ounces of cream cheese. And then also 2 cups of cheese. I thought about using Swiss or Gouda, but I found this blend that is sharp Swiss and Gruyere, so we're gonna use this. I have a pound of egg noodles and a sleeve of crackers because we're gonna do the Ritz topping again for this casserole. And then to season it, we have a teaspoon each of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, some Dijon mustard. I'm gonna need 2 tablespoons of that, and then half a cup of flour. I have a pot of salted water coming to a boil next to me, and as soon as it is boiling, I'm gonna cook those egg noodles for only about 4 minutes. I'm gonna cook them shy of al dente because they're gonna continue to cook in the casserole when we bake it up. On the stove here, I've melted 4 tablespoons of butter. I've got my stove on kind of medium-low heat, and we're gonna make a roux. I've got half a cup of flour here, and I'm just gonna whisk that with the butter and cook it over the medium-low heat for about a minute or so. Now I'm gonna gradually whisk in my 2 cups of half and half or milk, and I'm gonna continue whisking that over medium-low heat until the mixture starts to thicken. Mine is just a little too thick, so I'm gonna put some of this water from the noodles in here before I drain it, probably about a half cup or so. I probably used just a little too much flour. I did use too much flour. Look, I even put 1/4 cup, but I said half a cup. That's probably what I used. I used too much flour. So do as I say, not as I do. We're still gonna make it work. I just thinned it out a little bit. In goes my cream cheese. This is 4 ounces or half a block. And I'm just gonna stir that around until it's almost melted. Might as well put in my seasonings now too. 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. We're just gonna eyeball it. 1, 2. Stir, stir, stir. 1 cup of cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and stir into the sauce. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other recipe where I put some of the cheese in the recipe and then some of the cheese on top, so about half this bag. And once that is melted, we are ready to put the casserole together. So let me move you back over to the counter and we'll get it done. My cooked noodles are here in my pan, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my shredded chicken and also my 1/4 pound of deli ham, which I sliced up. I'm gonna use my tongs and just sort of get that all mixed up. The sauce is going over the top. Another little gentle mix. My pans weren't big enough to do this all in one pan. This is gonna be a really hefty casserole here. And don't forget, don't do what I do and use too much flour because my sauce is just a little bit too thick. We're gonna just go with it though. Real life here, sorry folks. The rest of the cheese, and the same cracker topping I used on the other casserole, 1 sleeve of one sleeve of Ritz with 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And then this is ready to pop a lid on and pop in the fridge. And when I'm ready to bake it up, I'll bake it up at 350 until it is bubbly. Since I'll be baking it from cold, I'm guessing it's gonna take about 45 minutes. And since I messed up and put too much flour in it, I may need to add just a little bit of liquid to it right before I bake it, but we'll just see what happens. But if you don't make the mess up that I made, you'll probably be just fine. Next up is a $1 million ravioli, and the good news is there's no flour in this recipe, so I can't mess up a bechamel like I seem to always do. Ingredients, here they are, starting with a pound of ground beef and a package of frozen cheese ravioli. This one is 25 ounces. I think one of the original recipes I saw called for a 20-ounce package, so this should be plenty. 1 jar of pasta sauce. This is just plain old marinara. I'm gonna use the other 4 ounces of my block of cream cheese, so half a block of cream cheese, and 1 cup each of cottage cheese and sour cream. 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. You could probably get along without this. 2 cups of mozzarella or some kind of like Italian style cheese. I'm using this blend of mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago cheeses. I like this blend a lot when I'm making these types of casseroles. To season, a teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, salt, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and optional, I used about half a teaspoon of red pepper flake as well for a little kick. I've got my pound of ground beef cooking up on the stove behind me, and while that's cooking, I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. We're gonna mix up some of the saucy stuff that goes in this, because it's not sauce. The stuff we're gonna toss the ravioli in, we'll just call it that. So I have a cup of cottage cheese, a cup of sour cream, and then I'm gonna add to this a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I'm just gonna stir this all together and set it aside until we're ready to put the casserole together. My ground beef is done cooking, so I'm gonna add my seasonings. Tablespoon of Italian seasoning, teaspoon each garlic powder, onion powder, salt, a little red pepper flake, my 24-ounce jar of pasta sauce, and I'm also gonna go ahead and throw my 4 ounces of cream cheese in here. It's much easier, in my opinion, to incorporate this into the sauce than it is into the cottage cheese and sour cream mixture. You could put it in that sour cream mixture if you want. You probably need to use a hand mixer to incorporate it really well, but we're just gonna do it this way. I'm just gonna let this simmer over medium-low heat. I might pop the lid on it too to keep it from splattering since we've got tomato sauce in here, until the cream cheese is melted, and also just to give those seasonings an opportunity to kind of incorporate in and make everything really yummy. Now you could probably make this sort of like a lasagna, layer it like a lasagna. A layer of the sour cream cottage cheese mixture, a layer of the raviolis, a layer of the sauce, and then a layer of cheese, and then repeat it. I didn't want to work that hard. So I mixed the sour cream and cottage cheese mixture with the raviolis and just a splash of milk, and I spread that in the bottom of the pan, and then I poured the sauce over the top and sprinkled the mozzarella cheese mixture on top of that. I'm not really sure what to tell you on the bake time on this. So much depends if you're baking it right away or storing it and then baking it, because right now my ravioli are still frozen. So if I'm popping it into the oven right away, it might take a little bit longer. As it were, it's gonna sit in the fridge for a day, so those ravioli are going to thaw out, although the sauce is going to cool down a little bit. So I usually just start, as a rule, 350 for 25 to 30 minutes and check on it. I'm actually going to cover mine too, since I've got the cheese on the top. And then I will remove the foil covering with about 10 minutes left to bake. So I'll just check on it after about 25 to 30 minutes, see how it's doing. Once it starts bubbling up a little bit, I know that it's starting to get cooked through, and I can remove that covering so that the cheese gets nice and toasty on top. I want to say another thank you to today's sponsor, Fabric by Gerber Life. They are linked in the description box below. You can go and check them out. This may or may not be my last video for 2024. I'm not sure. I might have one more. I don't know. I might not though. So just in case I don't, I will see you on the flip side in the new year. And until then, you can check out one of these videos, and I'll see you there.